Great, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of council for the third day of September. It being 7 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. Any look for any declarations of conflict? Councillor Shepherd?
Yes, the item to do with the Gibson's Paddling Club. Or is that next?
No.
Next meeting. All right, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So no conflicts. Council, I think we've all circulated amongst ourselves. I'd like to recommend we add item 5.9, child care crisis in Seashult. And then, so if that seconded, Councillor Shepherd, any discussion? All in favor of making it 5.9? Carried. And without further ado, then we can go to the item 5.1, and I believe we have Mr. Baker online with us to talk about the DVP for 6311 Bly Road. Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Good evening, Council. Yeah, so the application before you is for a variance for lot coverage to vary the lot coverage from 35% to 40% to allow the construction of a duplex with secondary suites. The increase is mainly to accommodate an increased area for the rear decks located in the rear yard. And that summarizes the application for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any council questions and concerns? Please, Councillor Shepherd.
Through the chair, just to confirm, I know it's in the report, but all of I'm generally in support of it because we're looking for more intensive housing, and the secondary suites will provide more of that. But to the issue of parking, all the parking, there's no variance that they're asking for. It's all on site.
That's correct. Yeah, there are no variances for parking. The proposal is compliant with the parking regulations.
Thank you. Councillor McLaughlin.
Thank you, through the chair. I was just wondering whether the decks and the yard will be in any way accessible to the basement suite, or is it all for the main housing area?
For sure, I can answer that. Yeah, so the secondary suites will have outdoor space. They will have access to the backyard and will be able to walk to the front yard to the street. Each secondary suite will have a sunken patio. The decks themselves are located for the main residence of the principal dwelling, which is the duplex, which will be kind of located on the second story. And those will provide covered space for the secondary suite tenants, whomever they may be.
Very good, thank you. Anything else, folks? Am I correct in summarizing that the substantial reason is just for the larger deck? Yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
Head nod, so, okay, very good. Okay, council, we have a recommendation before us. Is there, Councillor Shepherd moves, seconder, Councillor Rowe. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Then we'll go to page 14. And this is for the DVP for 6937 Porpoise Drive. And who's taking this? Mr. Allen? Thank you.
Mr. Hall is away. Thank you, Your Worship. This is a very minor application. There's an existing house with an addition with a building permit for a suite. It was identified that the existing house, albeit constructed with a building permit, slightly encroached within the front yard setback, constructed by different owners, constructed at a different time. So we're not sure why or how that happened. Nonetheless, it's minor, and they're providing a suite here in this dwelling, and we recommend to just solidify and normalize the site in the house with a small variance from 5 meters to 4.69 meters. Thank you.
For us old timers, I calculated, I believe that's 1 foot. Yes, point 3 of a meter. Okay, Councillor Shepherd, please.
Yeah, I'll move the recommendation on page
Okay,
14.
and a second. Okay, and anything else, council? Please, Councillor McLaughlin. Oops, didn't work.
Sorry, through the chair. I would just like to thank them for coming to get permits. And especially since they had this little issue that they had to deal with. So I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Terrific. Moving right along. Okay, council, let me go to item, whoops, did I not? All in favor? Carried. Now we'll go to 5.3 on page 20, and we'll turn this, I guess, over to Ms. Lee.
Yes, thank you. So just to summarize what's in the report, we're looking to, in addition to the replacement of the septic system at the Mission House, during the investigation there, the septic actually failed at the Robertson House, and through further engineering work and investigation, we'd like to also include the Davis Bay washroom into a single project. So the 3 sites would actually use a single septic facility, and this would be a more efficient use of the septic field. So we're looking to reallocate the funding for the Davis Bay washroom and remaining funding from the Friendship Park washroom to facilitate this project this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Inkster.
Thank you. I was just looking, thanks, I'm assuming it's a central septic system that serves all 3 items that you referenced?
So not at this time, but that's what we're looking to construct. So the field being at the Mission House site,
Yeah.
and then the other 2 sites to be pumped into that system.
Oh, so we'd need a pump.
Correct.
Oh, okay. And so do we have an idea of what percentage the Robertson House would be pumping into that system?
We have done some calculations with the design work. I don't have those numbers off the top of my head, but the Robertson House would be, at this time, for its residential use, a minor component. However, still required to have a septic or a sewer connection. But the majority of the flow at this time would be coming from both the Mission House and then the public washrooms at Davis Bay.
Okay, so I can assume that 80 or 90% of the use of that field would come from public facilities.
I expect
Because-
so, yes.
Okay, good. I'm hoping when you say you expect that I just, it's,
What's your concern?
my concern is that we're spending a lot on a private situation. So I'm glad that you're saying that a large piece of it is public use. Yeah, is what
Okay.
I'm hearing from you.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
which should be all our concerns. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Toth.
Thank you.
Forgetting.
Yeah, on page 21 there, it says in 2024, pumping alone for the Davis Bay washroom holding tank was $35,000. So $35,000 a year just for the one holding tank. Doesn't take us very long to see the cost benefit on this project. So I'll move the recommendations on page 20.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? I'll second that.
Yeah, just a thought to Chair.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be good if we could have connected this to Stalishan? Yeah.
All in good time. Okay, great. Any other questions? Not? I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Yep, very good. We will then, we'll move on to item 5.4. And this is the item, that I brought back for council's reconsideration. My points for doing so are itemized in the report on page 23 and 24. And I'm here to hear from you folks. Councillor Shepherd.
Yeah, through the chair, I wonder if I could ask Director Roberts what we've heard from the ministry on this request. Thanks.
Thank you for the question. Through the chair, we did hear back from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and their office, and they gave us a timeline. So there is a few weeks delay while they review the request, and then there's a procurement process for finding a municipal advisor for the district, and then it's appointed. So we're still probably 3 weeks out from that appointment.
Sorry, we're 3 weeks out from what?
From that appointment. So we spoke with them mid-August, and we are waiting to hear about whether we will receive a municipal advisor. And then from that point, it's 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm just giving approximates, but it's 2 to 4 weeks to find out if we're going to, which municipal advisor we would receive if it was green lighted.
By us. If it was green lighted?
It has to be green lighted by us first, of course. And so if that happens tonight, we would continue with the process that is already in motion. And if that process is already in motion, we will find out if we receive a municipal advisor within 1 to 2 weeks. And then 2 to 4 weeks after that, we're finding out who they have procured for us. So there's a number of municipal advisors in BC, and they put it out for procurement, and then people apply to be a municipal advisor for the municipality at hand, and then it's appointed. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions, comments, council? Councilor Shepherd? Yeah.
Yeah, through the chair. I mean, thanks very much for the update on timing. I put forward the motion because I didn't see a lot of the CUF report recommendations being moved ahead with. And I just want closure on that. I think the province can really help because they're dealing with a number of other very difficult situations. So, you know, my feeling obviously is this doesn't have to be reconsidered. Most of council voted in favor of it on July 30th. So I'm standing by the original decision. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilor Rowe?
Yeah, I'll just echo that. I think this is a service that the Municipal Affairs Ministry offers if they see the need. So I think there's no harm in us going down this road. So I remain in support of this, and that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, well, I'm not going to repeat what I put in the report other than I suppose to say I support the moving forward with the CUF report. I have done so, and I've certainly complied with the things that have been adopted by council. So my interest is to see that move forward as expediently as we can. And I figured that is something that's a better use of our time. There was I guess a reference made that there's no cost, and by that I interpreted that to be no cash cost, but there's a significant cost, I assume, in terms of time. And I would like to see us, I guess, move forward with the CUF report recommendations and see what we can do to progress on other priorities. And I am at the will of council. So, Councilor Rowe.
I take your note on the, time that staff may have to spend with this process, but as opposed to cost, I think I look at it as an investment in good governance here. So I don't think we can have too much of that work before us. So thanks.
There's staff time and council time, I assume. Okay, so we will get a report, I assume, in terms of looking to the CAO for this, in terms of the process that will be followed, I guess, when you hear back or when you get an appointment. Is that fair? Sorry. If a report's needed, possibly. Sorry, I'm not following. Okay. Okay, probably I don't either, which is part, Mr. Yates, maybe the microphone, please. Just, I'm not sure who's online, that's all.
You only get a report if a record is required. If the
Understood.
province doesn't want to tell you anything other than they've appointed somebody, that's all you'll
Then I
get.
guess that'll be the report from you to us. Yeah, okay, thank you. So I have brought this back and I will move the motion to that this be reconsidered and look for a seconder. Okay. And so we won't, we'll proceed after that to item 5.5. And that's an amendment to the council meeting calendar. Please, Mr. Councillor Toff.
Thank you. Makes sense. We didn't know the exact dates for UBCM, so happy to move the recommendations on page 26 as presented.
Is there a seconder? You. Okay, second. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the one everybody's come to the meeting for is the appointment of the representatives for the MIABC and at the AGM on Tuesday, the 23rd. We'll all, I think, all be in Victoria. And I would look for volunteers who would like to be the reps. I may well have a conflict at that time, so I'd be very happy to at most be an alternate. And you're welcome to nominate other people. All right.
I'll take my turn.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Rowe. So we'll take that as a nomination for the lead, and we need two alternates. Mr. Inkster, since Councillor Bell's not here, so we nominate her. Okay, Councillor Shepherd volunteered. Okay, so that's a motion for Councillor Rowe with Councillor Inkster and Shepherd as alternates. I'll second that motion. All in favor? Carried. Okay, council, then another one, I think, which is fairly self-explanatory, is on page 30. And this is well, perhaps somebody does want to talk to this. Ms. Olson, do you want to explain any of the background?
Certainly, it's the report's fairly self-explanatory. The Fire Safety Act has undergone some changes, and one of them is that the local authority, which in our case is our municipality, needs to make these two appointments. We also confirmed that the appointments do not have to be individual names. They can be a class of officer over in the fire department.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Toth.
I will move the recommendation on page 30 as it's laid out.
Okay. Is there a seconder? Second, Councillor Inkster. I guess I get a little concerned when I see near the top of page 31, these new obligations that have been assigned to our municipality. I mean, is it an obligation just to do these appointments, or are there additional obligations that we are being burdened with under the new Fire Safety Act?
Essentially, they've changed it so that the municipality is responsible for fire protection. So what we're looking at is potentially setting up an agreement with our fire department to ensure that the paperwork is in place, that the fire protection services continue to be provided, and that the municipality is essentially contracting those services from the fire department.
So then the liability is with us, with potentially the opportunity to seek some sort of recovery from the fire department?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but there's no change to liability or the types of services that are required in the Fire Safety Act. Fire protection, inspections, investigations, all will need to be performed.
Mhm.
If you could provide some clarification.
Well, yeah, it's why I ask. It's the first, well, perhaps the first sentence at the top of page 31. Are we in fact being burdened or assigned additional responsibilities as the local authority? Councillor Shepherd.
Through the chair, it's a good question. You know, I wonder if it's worth council's while to, and I'm happy to sponsor a separate motion to this, that we ask the fire chief to come before council to sort of explain any kind of changes that are going on. I certainly have a lot of questions about how their organizational structure relates to the municipality. You know, they have a completely separate budget. So I'd appreciate that chance. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. Okay, anything else, folks? Okay, then we did get the motion and seconded as presented on page 30. So call that question. All in favor? Carried. And over to you, Councillor Shepherd.
Yeah, could I make a motion that council extend an invitation to the fire chief to come before the next council of the whole or a council of the whole to discuss the changes that are being referred to in this report?
And that's seconded, Councillor Inkster. Please.
I think, I don't know how long Chief Davidson's been there.
Just over a year.
Just over here, it would kind of coincide with when the old chief ended up working for us, so we'd know that. But the thing is that I'd love to have Mr. Chief Davidson come in for a conversation. So I think this is a good reason to do that on a number of fire issues. I'd love to speak to the fire department once a year. And if this isn't that, but I would certainly support this. Thanks.
Very good. I think that's a good idea. Councillor McLaughlin.
Yes, through the chair. Since it's a separate organization, I wonder if our boundaries identically align.
Boundaries for the fire?
Yeah.
No, no, they don't.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, okay. Not too far off then. 1 + 1 = 1. Thank you.
Okay. So I guess I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. All right, council, then we go to item on page 32, which is the grant applications. And as council knows, we have one additional recommendation, which perhaps I can ask Ms. Lee to comment on as part of her summary.
Yes, thank you. So we're seeking council support for the 3 grant applications detailed in the report, as well as a 4th grant application that came later. So that would be that council endorse the application for the UBCM Strategic Priorities Fund 2025. And the project is Enhancing Accessibility in Tourism and Recreational Facility Renewal Project. And that would see both the Davis Bay Washroom Facility upgraded and accessibility features, as well as substantial upgrades to the Hackett Park accessibility, as well as the concession stand and washroom at that site as well. So that would be the 4th application, and it is 100% grant funded. And happy to answer any questions about any of these 4 applications. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councillor Shepherd.
I'll move those 4, the 3 recommendations on page 32, plus the extra 4th item that Director Lee mentioned. Thanks.
Thank you. For a seconder then. Okay, now discussion, Councillor Inkster.
Thanks. I'm just asking staff, these are all, accessibility is a great idea. for not only those with challenges, but also our aging community. I'm just wondering if when we do these applications, we get support and or supporting letters from groups on the Central Coast that work with people with challenges, as an example, Skakel, to show support for our projects, much like the playground that we asked for support from them. They're very, I think they add a lot of weight to our applications to serve our community better. Thanks.
I'm sure that's part of the grant application we do. Huh? Okay. Great. Please, Councillor Toth.
Thank you. Looking at the third one on the bottom of page 33, the Greater Vancouver Community Assistance Foundation Affordable Community Housing Program. I'm just looking for a little more context, I suppose, around this particular grant application. The grant would help offset costs associated with the municipal building feasibility study, which I know we've signaled some desires maybe for this. I'm just wondering if there's anything more to this request. Thanks.
Anything you can offer?
Yes, thank you for the question and through the chair. So this grant, if successful, would contribute towards the already approved funding for this project. So the project is underway. It's exploring the feasibility of housing being integrated into a municipal facility, which meets the requirements of this grant. So the idea being that it would offset our costs for this project.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Great. Anything else, folks? Please, yes, Councilor McLaughlin.
Thank you, through the chair. Can I get clarification on that municipal hall would have housing in it? Is that the idea?
Thank you for the question. That was one option being explored as part of the feasibility. So this funding is specifically for feasibility analysis. So it would contribute towards that part of the feasibility analysis of the total feasibility study. So that's one option of many that was being looked at. Thank you.
Right. Please.
Yeah, thanks. Interesting, that one option. I think that council knows, and maybe some staff know, that North Vancouver has housing as part of a number of, at least one of their larger municipal facilities. And it basically has funded that building, paid for it. So these are good ideas. Thanks.
Thank you.
If I could just comment.
Your microphone went off.
I'm not getting it right today. Yeah, North Vancouver is not at sea level, that particular building. It's way up Lonsdale. And I think we have to really look at projects that we propose at sea level. We know this whole precinct here is basically at ground zero for that. So that should be something we take into if we do move ahead into the feasibility, just to highlight that. Thank you.
Okay. And I think this is just one of many options being considered. So, yeah. Okay, how much, question for me, are these, sometimes these grant applications, we're looking at bigger dollars for at least one of them, but is there a lot of time, or we're getting more templates that we can be efficient in not having to put too much time into applying?
Yes, thank you for that question. So because we've applied for a number of grants in recent years, a lot of that framework can be used as a template, as well as supporting documentation. So for example, our recent feasibility analysis that was done for the district could be used as supporting documentation and that type of thing. So it's essentially pulling that information together. So there certainly are efficiencies that we've created.
Okay, thank you, because yeah, you can spend as much time as the value of your time is as much as a grant in some cases. So, okay, council, anything else? If not, so this is a motion to approve 1 through 4, and all in favor? Opposed? Sorry, Councillor Inkster, I didn't see. Did you vote?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in favor if I don't vote.
Thank you. Okay, Now, we're running a little ahead of my prediction, so not sure, just, we'll see. Oh, good. Yes, we can go to item 5.9, and perhaps, council, we have the two, I suppose, primary organizers from the childcare parents group. Chelsea Phillip and Donna Linden are with us. So maybe we could promote them in case council has any questions for them. And just while that's happening, I just want to compliment both Chelsea and Donna and on all the families for their response to what was some pretty disheartening news on Thursday. We're going to have a look at a couple of the letters that the families have put together. One of them was signed by 56 parents, and they've also sent out a press release. And I understand they've also met with our MP Patrick Weiler and our MLA Neil. So council, we could look, I don't know if everybody's seen, there was an emergency letter and labeled emergency letter, the one I referenced. And council has not seen it. I think we're able to share it if we need to. And we're also able to hear from the ladies who, so how does council wish to proceed? And maybe we'll do a sound check to Chelsea. Donna, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? This
And
is
indeed.
Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
Hi, it's Chelsea. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Wonderful, thanks.
Okay. So, council? Okay, if not, I'll just, maybe I'll just ask, what's your solution, or what do you feel is the solution at this time? Ladies?
I really wish that I had a succinct answer for that. I think if there was an answer that was so easy to provide from a parent who is very busy with a young family, then the brilliant people in this room probably would have come up with it already. But so far, our ask and the biggest challenge that we are seeing is from a redistribution of the point system from the PNP, which allows newcomers to Canada to access or get their permanent residency more quickly. That has just been moved up north to value that area more than here. And so that's creating a bit of a vacuum from some of the workers that are at the YMCA right now. There's also extreme burnout that we're seeing. They're not being able to make enough to live and stay on the coast. Many of the staff are working multiple jobs. We're seeing them out in the community, which I cannot imagine doing after taking care of my children all week. I could not do that. So really here, I mean, it's not a simple answer, and there's reams of reports speaking to the challenge of providing childcare on the coast. But we have laid out some asks in our letter that hopefully you guys have seen. We have tried to spread far and wide to get help on this.
Thank you. Anything to add, Chelsea?
I just don't know how many of you are familiar with the letter that we had wrote and any of the background. For clarity, we can do a little bit of an overview of the situation that we found ourselves in. Is that all right? Can I?
Sure. I don't think we got the letters able to share on the screen, so maybe you could summarize it, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We found out last week that 2 of the coast's 0 to 3-year-old infant childcare programs are closing. That's 20 spots for kids between those ages that will not have anywhere to go in less than a month's time. There are no available spaces currently on the coast for that care. There was already a shortage that we were dealing with. We have lost 2 ECEs within the YMCA program due to this issue that Donna had referenced. and a number of other issues that makes the coast an inaccessible place to live. We cannot get people to stay here and work these kind of jobs, and we are asking for help to raise this concern to a level of urgency that creates opportunity for people to go to work and participate in the community here. The immediate shutdown and loss of these spots are going to ripple through the community. There are a number of city employees, first responders, teachers, young business owners that are not going to be able to return to work because of this. Many of us do not have alternatives or a family on the coast to support us. We are truly coming to you hat in hand and asking you to escalate this. We understand that at all levels of government, there has been a concise agreement that this is a urgent issue. There has been plans put together in 2021 and again in 2025 that commits, again, all levels of government to completing certain things like a wage grid and the identification of this region as a rural region that would access other benefits such as pay for many essential services within our community, ECEs and childcare being one of them. If you can raise this in any way and make changes or have an out-of-the-box solution, we are willing to work with the YMCA and anyone who is able to help us. If you are a grandparent and looking to get back into the workforce and open a daycare, we are honestly grasping at straws right now. And the result is that we are going to have a major labor shortage in Sechelt specifically.
Thank you, Chelsea. Thanks. I'll go to Councillor Shepherd.
Hi, thanks to the chair. Thanks for giving us, sending us the press release information. We know this is sort of dropped like a bomb on you in a very short period of time. I think I'm speaking for council, all of council, I hope, when I say, yes, we're going to help you escalate this as fast as we can. It's an urgent matter. Now, I understand, unfortunately, Councillor Bell, who's not here tonight, and does do work for, she's done work for both our MLA and our MP, and it's been involved in discussions with both. I think you've met with MP Patrick Weiler, is that?
And
Randy. So I think it is being escalated, and one thing that we have to talk about is the resolution to sort of a letter of endorsement supporting some of these initiatives that you've just described.
Right.
So, and I understand there are sort of discussions going on with the ministry right now. So yes, we are, you've really impressed us with what a urgent matter it is, and things are happening.
Great, thank you. Thank you. We'll go to Councillor Inkster, then Toth. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, no problem. I'm just making sure I have the names. Donna and Chelsea, correct?
Yeah,
that are here.
That's it.
Look, yeah, thanks. You're both here. Kind of wish I could see you, but maybe you're shy. Because it's all about getting us out there to talk about this. Just the information that you're presenting to us, just to get my head around it. So there's two centers. Where is the one in Sechelt, just to remind me, and how many people, how many children were in that are being affected?
The West Sechelt one is connected to the West Sechelt Elementary, and there's 12 children in that one.
Okay, so they built a purpose building for that, and now they don't have the workers for 0 to 3, which is, they just built it, so that's a big problem.
Yes, with provincial dollars.
With provincial dollars, I think a number of us were up there for the opening. So when you look at immediate solutions, government doesn't move that quickly. Is the big solution to allow to change the designation so we can have more foreign workers to work with our children? Is that an immediate, is that a low-hanging fruit piece that you're looking for?
No, this is the cause of the reason that these last two workers have left and the reason why we're having trouble recruiting new staff. The immediate ask is to highlight these roles within the community, within the workforce specifically, and present them in a way that makes it sustainable for them to live here, whether that be through a signing bonus and a commitment for a multi-year stay here on the coast, whether it's assistance with living, like residential living while they're here. I know that there's a shortage of that, especially for those that don't make a ton of money. There is levels to this, and the assistant is for the immediate filling of the ECE roles at West Sechelt, and we're asking also for Gibson's.
A larger challenge is that the positions that they need refilled and that we're losing have a special designation for infant toddler within the ECE certification. You then need to go back and get more training to get your infant toddler designation. And that requires going on practicum where you cannot earn money. It's a really limiting system for workers and employees out here that are already just getting by. They can't afford to take the time off to get that increased designation. Something that would help would be partnering with the CCRR, the Family Resource Center is kind of what I think of them locally. I hope you are familiar with who I mean by that. And coming up with creative solutions to increase the pool of ECEs with IT out here, but that's again more like a mid to long-term solution. Immediately, they need to increase the attractiveness and viability of these jobs on the coast. Because right now the people doing the work are not able to even scrape by, and so they can't stay here. They need to move on to places that are cheaper or to where they can make more money, and that means up north or in the city. We are kind of this weird zone, you know, as you're all too familiar with other issues with having the ferries on either end, yet really high housing prices. So that it really is ultimately our jobs are raising the alarm to say that this issue that is well documented on the coast, the struggle to provide childcare has gone on for a very long time on the shoulders of parents, really doing everything and anything to make their work and childcare schedules work. And this issue is creating enough unrest, enough challenge for people. It is breaking that we need immediate action, no more reports, no more information. We need movement from the government to come to the table, work with the YMCA, because that's our fastest path to getting 20 spots of a infant toddler space at this moment.
Thanks, Donna. Yep. Okay, we'll just go on, Councillor Toth.
Thank you. Given that there's the letter that we've received from them, we've got the letter that's the Mayor White had drafted. This is a rapidly evolving issue that doesn't really meet with a 2-week interval meeting schedule like council currently meets at. I'd like to propose just a sort of a catch-all motion that might help us to support this work, whether it's through signing on to letters, whether it's through an opportunity for an emergency ministers meeting at UBCM, whatever it might be. And so my motion would read that the District of Sechelt Council join on to advocacy efforts with the town of Gibsons to raise the profile of the urgent childcare crisis on the Sunshine Coast.
Okay, thank you. And so that's seconded, Councillor Inkster. Okay. Councillor Shepherd.
Yeah, two questions. If I could ask, is there, just to further from Councillor Inkster's point, is there, just to get us through this crisis, while we advocate with the provincial, federal government for changes in designations and so forth, is there a certain number of positions that have been lost, that if we could just fill those positions, we'll get by this crisis.
Agree.
That's the first question.
I think, okay, do you want to ask both?
Yeah, please.
No, you said you got two questions?
Yeah,
or-
I've got a second one.
Okay, ask it and then we'll,
Maybe I could just get an answer to that. one
okay,
first.
two.
Is it two?
It's two and
It's
yeah.
two at the West Sechelt location. So with the Gibsons, we didn't exactly get a number from the YMCA, but our guess would be two as well. I think that is just the bare minimum. We typically see them operate with three more comfortably in the IT room, and four if they want to be able to provide their staff breaks, which we haven't seen most of the
Okay.
time that we've been there.
Great, thank you. That just helps me understand it. And secondly, just a question on Councillor Toth's motion. So that motion would include council supporting the endorsement, the letter that's been drafted by Mayor White, correct?
That's my intention, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor McLaughlin.
Thank you, through the chair. I'm just wondering, in terms of providing care for children this young, are there different standards providing care in the system versus providing private care at homes? As you say, infant care requires extra training, especially for newborns, et cetera. But I wonder if people were willing or able to find places in residences with people willing to take in kids for the short term, if that would be possible, or are the standards so high that they couldn't do it? Thanks.
Okay, Donna, Chelsea, are you able to answer that?
Yes, I can speak to that. I am looking into the possibility of a new in-home daycare that might be starting up and would only get very part-time care for my youngest. And with losing the full-time care for him and having to adjust my work schedule, I can't afford full-time care for my older child who was in the 3 to 5 program still, who would typically not be affected. I need to pull him out as well. And I'm putting them both in the same in-home daycare for part-time hours because I don't know what exactly it will be like there. And the youngest who I'm putting in is 11 months. He can't speak. So it's a bit of a safety measure or extra blanket of security for me to know that he's being watched over even by his older brother who's only 4 next month. This month. That is possible. And again, the flexibility and the resourcefulness of parents is that they will do that. I personally took care of Chelsea's son, and he was after that first year, Chelsea took care of my son. So we have experience with that back and forth trade-off. It's not ideal. And we've seen issues in Vancouver with parents putting their kids in unlicensed care and having very dire results. And we don't want to see parents here resorting to that if it comes with any negative outcomes. Our kids are just too precious for that.
For sure. Okay,
Thank you. I would like to just state that I remember when I had my child, I was exempt staff, and I was the first woman to have a baby for exempt staff with the organization I was in. And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to find infant care? It was very difficult. It's very challenging. The standards are very high. And I'm surprised 30 years later, we're still in the same situation. And it just goes to show that, women are not getting the support they need to work and be good mothers and raise their families. It's an impossible situation. And, something's got to change, but, it is government policy. And we keep going back and forth, give or take. I've had $10 daycare at some point briefly in Alberta, believe it or not, I did. But it's a incredible challenge, and I would like us to really acknowledge this and not just give lip service to it. It's the lives, like you say, the well-being of our babies, for heaven's sake. It's incredible. Thanks for what you're doing, but I'm so sorry that you've been put through this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Rowe?
Thank you. Thank you for coming on to chat tonight. Can I just ask, whatever you're comfortable sharing with, around feedback with your meeting with, the MLA? Were you, given any glimmer of hope from your perspective?
To focus directly on the short-term asks, that sits with the BC Minister of Education, I believe her role is.
And childcare, yes.
In childcare. Thank you, Donna. They will be meeting with the YMCA. We are told Thursday morning. We were told it was supposed to happen on Monday. It's been pushed. When we received the cancellation email, when people responded back with questions, we received an email bounce back that she was out of office. She had been unavailable majority of last week after leaving us without the ability to plan. And we have a meeting set up with them next week where we're able to meet in person and ask them questions. We don't know who from the YMCA is going to be there fielding our questions. We don't know if they have any ability to impact change. We also know that there must be some sort of contract between the provincial government and the YMCA, lease agreement or otherwise, that would require them to commit to the number of spots that the government has promised the people. And I've requested a copy of that agreement. I've also requested if they can only give me those specific details on the agreement. And we are waiting for a name and an answer still. That's sitting with the MLA, and that was 3 days ago.
Okay. I want to assure you that a few of us were at the Labor Day picnic on Monday, Councillor Toth, Bell, myself, Mayor White, Emily Neal, and MP Weiler, and we did all get together and have a conversation around the urgency of this matter. Whether our support actually means anything tangible, I need you to know that this is something that is at the top of our mind. And I have to say, and I mean, this doesn't really help you guys right now, but it has been for years. I don't know how many meetings where we've sat in front of the minister responsible for childcare at any given time and talked about a provincial wage grid. And, there's
two committed to, by the way, the provincial
that?
wage grid. There's documentation that commits to the provincial wage grid in the next 5 years, and it's hasn't begun to be developed.
Yeah. I understand it. So it's a frustration, and we've been banging that drum for a while. And, our own daycare project that we have in the works is taking its sweet time, but part of the reason of that is we do want housing attached to that gives priority to this type of worker because we understand what that means. There's two groups of workers in our community that support the very most vulnerable people, and that's childcare workers and community health workers that work in healthcare and home support. And they both barely make what would be considered a living wage. And so that's always the top of my mind. That's basic, in my opinion, basic housing goal is that your community can support those that support the most vulnerable in your community. So I think this table, we definitely feel your pain. We applaud your advocacy. And I wish I had a magic bullet for you, but know that we'll have as loud a voice as we can.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe. That's probably a good segue because as council knows, there's some parallels with the Keep Families Together initiative because a lot of what we're talking about is a need for people. And so, as Councillor Rowe said, whether it's ECEs for kids or healthcare aids for elder people, seniors, there's all kinds of roles. We have essentially zero unemployment on the coast. And so when we lose people, whether they leave or they retire, we're struggling right now to replace them. So it's I suppose, convenient for unfortunate reasons that I'll be accompanying some employers to Ottawa, as council knows, in about 10 days. And we'll be meeting, thanks to MP Weiler's efforts, with hopefully the ministers of immigration and the Minister of Jobs to explain to them that the idea that immigration, one size fits all for the country, is not valid. And we have some unusual, perhaps unusual, but certainly some important needs, and hopefully we'll get some traction in Ottawa. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Donna. Councillor Toth, do you want to read your motion again, please?
Sure. That the District of Sechelt Council join on to advocacy efforts with the town of Gibsons to raise the profile of the urgent childcare crisis on the Sunshine Coast.
Okay, and okay,
Second.
and you did say, yeah. So, okay, because I think we'll want to add, yeah, okay, let's vote on that. All in favor? Carried. So you said it's your intention then that the letter that I understand has been submitted to the newspaper as we've received it. So that'll be in the print edition this week. So council, if you have any changes, we can't do anything with it right now. But before it's sent, I have a couple of, or some small changes in the titles and so on that are being used. So I'll pass those to staff. Councillor Inkster.
Yeah, so we still have the two mothers on speaking to us tonight?
I believe.
The two ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So we sent a letter, and we often say we can help. I'm wondering what our communication it will be with the two ladies that are speaking to us going forward, because this, what in your letter you said that this is going to have an effect, immediate an effect on you. Just to be clear, where
October 1st.
October 1st. So we don't have very long. So I'm just asking ourselves, council and or the district, will we have continuous discussions with these individuals? Because clearly laid out in their information to us in their letter to us, this will have huge effects on the families. So how do we, very measurable effects, very clear and measurable effects. So what's our process going forward other than saying we're going to work on it?
I think, well, it's fair to say Chelsea and Donna and I have talked, every day since last week. If there's something for council to do, you'll certainly hear from them or me. I don't know that we have a specific ask of council at this point, but that would be my suggestion. As soon as there is something specific, as
I have an ask, actually, if I could.
yes, Chelsea.
I understand that the city or the town runs social media campaigns on different topics. Is it possible to run one on recruitment for roles within the community that are in need, such as ECEs?
Certainly. Yep. If you have I mean, it's for us to put something out because we'd want to do it more than just through the district's social media channels. So if you have something, I'm sure I speak for all the council, we'd be happy to add it to our own personal ones and
Yeah.
the district's one.
So could I ask a further question in that though, with the road I was going down? Thanks. Is there any way you could appraise council as well as to what you're dealing with, what you're going through?
Yeah, we would be very happy to. I believe our emails went out with the communication that we sent to council. We welcome any communication from you guys, any tasks, ideas, programs, suggestions. We are very open. I could not overstate that. No.
Thanks.
Also, if anyone has a contact within the YMCA that can get answers into what's happening here before the middle of next week, we are just sitting waiting in the meantime. And the only thing we can do is kick up smoke. So we will be hitting the papers and such tomorrow as the Postman Portal will be coming out, and raise as much attention and community support to this as possible.
Okay, great, because many council members are parents, so we really have that clear link to these frustrations and challenges. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Rowe, please.
So ladies, I'm assuming you've been in touch with Kristen Deasy and the Child Care Council on this?
The Child Care Council, which council? The Child Care Advocates
Well,
of BC?
There is a Child Care Council group that has representatives.
Do you mean the Joint Council?
Yeah,
We have not, I believe I sent a message that was out to you, Brenda and Donna Bell, about joint committee efforts and work, just more so to open a line of communication because it had kind of come across my attention a few times, but we have not concretely reached out to that avenue in terms of like getting a response back and establishing any communication. No. If you have somebody that you can recommend, though, I will more than happily send a line.
Of
okay.
that?
All
If
right,
I
we'll
can-
connect offline.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion in front. No, we voted, didn't we? Your motion, yes. Okay, so I guess that's it. We'll make a couple of minor changes to that letter before it's sent to the ministers and okay. Thank you again, Donna, Chelsea, and we will be talking to tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Much appreciated. You'll hear from us again, I'm sure.
Sure. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Right, council, we will then go to the minutes of July 30th, starting on page 35. Any comments, council? Hearing none. I will entertain a motion to adopt. Thank you, and seconded, and all in favor? Carried. And we'll go to the SCRD reports. Councillor Toth, we'll go to you this time with Councillor Inkster backstopping.
Sounds good. I have nothing to report. Our last council meeting was after the last SCRD meeting. So there's nothing from meetings to report on. We do have a meeting scheduled with the MLA tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So I'm sure this will be a topic of discussion at that MLA meeting as well, even though it's not on the agenda. But that's all I have.
Very good. Anything to add, given no meetings, Councillor Inkster?
No, we'll certainly bring these issues up. We still have water. I wanted to add that. But yeah, tomorrow's the beginning of a busy fall preceding UBCM. So we'll have a few things I want to say with the chair to the questions for the MLA when we meet with her tomorrow. So, and this is a big one that we just heard. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Since you're talking, why don't you keep going with your council report?
Yeah, thanks. A busy August, not for us necessarily for meetings, lots of emails though. But busy month in Sechelt. Sechelt had a lot of events in August. It seems to be our big busy month and lots of traffic in Sechelt, but it was good to see. I'm hoping the merchants benefited from all the people in Sechelt over the last month. So the fall is about to begin. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Shepherd?
Yeah, nothing in August. Just to let the public know, we had our first budget meeting looking at reviewing the 2025 process, and now sort of trying to focus on 2026 to bring to the fore what council can complete with years left on our term. And just to leave everyone with our CAO's comment that to bring forward specific projects that we could bring to completion over the next year. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll go to Councillor Toth and then McLaughlin and Rowe.
Thank you. Only thing I have really to report that I attended in this role was the Labor Day picnic on Monday. It was a great event, very busy. Was a little worried when I got there and there weren't as many people as I remember being at the event, but turns out I was just, one of the first people to actually get there. So very busy. Lots of booths set up with information. Cover the Coast was there. The Affordable Housing Society by extension was there, of course. The Conservation Association was there. Driftwood Players, both the MP and the MLA were there. And I think it was mentioned that this is the first time that an MP has attended the Labor picnic, which is quite fascinating. So because I was there with a District of Sechelt shirt on, I got called on stage to say a few words. My mom was a volunteer advocate when I was a teenager here. And so I'm very familiar with a lot of the struggles of labor, of, fighting for EI, work safe, disability, welfare, the whole gamut of things that our unions are big supporters of funding that sort of work on the advocacy front. So was glad to be there, glad to speak, got to talk to lots of people I haven't seen in a while, and looking forward to the fall. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor McLaughlin.
Thank you, through the chair. The month of August, lots of emails, but not meetings, thankfully. I would have liked to have gone to the Labor Day meeting, but I was helping a friend who was having her dog put down. So I thought, well, I have to be there for that. And it's sad, but it just goes to also remind me how important pets are and how you need to respect the elders in our community and be there for them. Also, I found that there were some issues this summer in terms of air quality. A friend pointed out that we were in the poor air quality index a couple of times, which I hadn't noticed, but again, it's bad for everybody. It was a night when the Colorifics were playing at the Hackett Park stage, which was a great night. They were terrific, but it is a damper on things when you have to worry about the climate and the weather and the situation. Also, at times the heat was excessive. I planned to go somewhere and I thought, no, I'm not going to travel through the Okanagan when it's 37 degrees again. I'm not. I just can't take it anymore and I won't do it. So it's unfortunately, it is a little bit of a reminder that, in a way, our world is on fire. And we need to start taking this situation seriously, whether you think it's man-made climate change or just natural changes or whatever. It's a serious problem. And I would like to see us develop more policy that really addresses that instead of business as usual, which is sort of like development and more infrastructure and thinking you can get more water out of secret places that only certain old people that take float planes know about. I just don't buy it. And also having stability and enjoying this place rather than thinking it is an opportunity for progress, development, whatever. Like I'm so conflicted with the reality of climate change. And I would like to see these things acknowledged and addressed somewhat because we live in a beautiful place, which is really at risk, I think. Some fire smart things need to be done. Apparently you can't buy cedar bushes anymore in our various nurseries, et cetera. And we should be pulling them out. We need to have a strategy on how to make this place more livable and in terms of the new definition of livable. So things like that I think are important, and also building more accessibility for letting people enjoy a simpler life, I think is not out of our realm. Although sometimes I wonder, daycare, what can we do? It's not so much our mandate, but of course, it's all part of the social things that matter more than just making a buck. for the sake of progress and business. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Rowe.
The Labor Day picnic, that's what I wanted to talk about. Councillor Toth said it well. It was great to see everybody and sort of get back in to action following August. But the highlight of my month might have been about an hour and a half ago and seeing Larry's new electric golf cart he's driving around town.
Limited speed vehicle. He corrected
Oh,
me.
I'm sorry. I know not to do that, and I did it. It's like, don't say golf cart, and then that's what came out of my mind. But his new TR4, NX TR4 is what it is,
NXT.
and Cadillac red. Anyways, very cool. So bring on the fall, getting ready for UBCM, lots of meetings coming up. And yeah, say goodbye to 2025 and hello to 2026.
Wow. Okay. We're all Happy New Year. Okay. Well, August, as everybody knows, was a great time in Sechelt. And I want to congratulate the car show, the rod run, appreciate the police who were out to control some of the most of the burnouts. And of course, the drag races were a great success. The Artisans Fair, the Farmers Market, of course, continues to be very well supported and a real attraction on coast and off coast. And of course, the Writers Festival was again terrific. Want to congratulate BC Ferries. I don't think there was much drama, except one which was great, and that's when they the crew stepped up and put on an extra sailing, and it was, my understanding, was the onboard crew and the terminal attendants at Langdale the night of the really bad accident at Red Roofs on the highway, where they actually worked very late for the crew to get people home. So I'm sure you would join me in congratulating and thanking the ferries crew and terminal attendants. I had a lot of work this past month on the Keep Families Together initiative. I've learned a lot. As I said earlier, it's sadly interesting that the issues are appearing now for the childcare as well. And so I hope we can get some traction from the province and the Y and the federal government in due course. So yes, lots of emails, and many of them were from me, and there are lots to look forward to this fall. I'm not going to write off 2025 just yet. Councillor Toth.
Also, today was the first day back to school. So congratulations to all our students, and a reminder for the thousands of those that watch these meetings to drive safe out there. And school zones are back in effect, and hopefully the RCMP is doing some temporary enforcement like they usually do at the start of the school year. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, council, no correspondence or other items, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Seconded, all in favor? We are adjourned. Questions? Got